If you have no idea what that was, I generally sing hello to all of my students. So if you sing hello back to me, generally it sounds like, hello, Mrs. Thomas. That being said, if you have no idea who I am, I'm Mrs. Thomas. I am one of the 2 music teachers at Timber Lane, and I'm going to be teaching 5th grade music virtually for the rest of the year. Now, if you've never had me before, then you might not know that I like to do games a lot. And one of the cool things about teaching virtually is there's still some games that we can play together. So the thing we're going to be doing today is looking through our 16th note rhythms. So tas, TTs, stuff that we know from back when, but also tika-tikas and tea-tikas and tika-tis. I'm deliberately starting a little bit with the stuff that we've done before, just in case it's been a little while and some of us just need to have our memories jogged a tiny bit. That's perfectly fine. So let's start easy. And then at the end of today's lesson, we're going to be playing a game of mystery rhythm. And if you've never done that before, we're going to take a look at that together. Ready? First things first. Look at the doobly-doo. I put up a really easy rhythm for you to read. So let's go ahead and look at this rhythm together. Note, this is 4 of the exact same thing. 4 tas, right? Ta here, this rhythm, makes 1 sound in 1 beat. So let's clap and say this rhythm together, shall we? I'll start first. Here I go. Ta, 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 ta. Now you give it a try. Ready? Here you go. Super easy, right? Let's go ahead and move on to something a little more difficult. TT here should be review for most of us. 2 sounds in 1 beat. Now, if you're ever confused about how many sounds a note makes in 1 beat, take a look at the number of dots or feet or note heads, as we call them in the music world. Take a look at the number of note heads it has. Ta makes 1 sound, so it has 1 note head. TT makes 2 sounds, so it has 2 note heads. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one for you. Ready? It goes like this. Ta, ti, 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 ta. You try clapping and saying it. Ready? Here we go. Nifty. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So what I need you to do next is to look at a slightly more difficult pattern. Take a look at this pattern for me. Now we have a rhythm that has 4 note heads in 1 beat. And note, note, get it? 8th notes, TTs, have 1 beam going across the top. This horizontal line at the top of a note is called a beam, but 16th notes have 2 of them because 16th notes are twice as fast as 8th notes. So the more beams our notes have, the faster they are. Now, at some point, I am absolutely willing to open up some of my piano music for you and show you some ridiculous stuff with like 3 or even 4 beams attached to it. But we can't clap that very quickly. So we're going to stick to the 16th notes for now. Ready? Look at this pattern. I'm going to clap and say it for you. Ready? Here I go. Ticka, 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 ti, ti, ta. Now you try it. Ready? Here you go. Hopefully that was pretty doable, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh, look, if that's what you said, that means you got it right. We're going to make things a little more interesting now. Now that things are a little harder, we're going to take our tika-tika that we knew from before and TT that we knew from before, split them in half, and make a Frankenstein's monster out of it. So we have our tika-tika. We have our ta that we did before. We have another one here. But now we have half of our TT and half of our tika-tika. So half the TT, half the tika-tika. So this pattern here is called T-tika. Do me a favor, be my echo. Can you say T-tika? I'm going to clap and say this pattern for you. Are you ready? Here I go. My turn first. Tika-tika-ta, T-tika-ta. Now you try. Ready? Here you go. Doable. Definitely doable. If this is confusing for you, feel free to rewind and practice it again as many times as you need to get it right. Even go slower if you even need to. Let's see if we said it right. Ta-da! Let's go ahead and move on to a slightly more difficult pattern. I took our T tika and I flipped them around. Now we're looking at something called tika-ti. You see the tika with the 2 beams and T with 1. So now, here's what I need you to do. Let's do this one. I'll go first. Tika-ti, tika-ti, ti-ti-ta. Now you try it. Ready? Here you go. Definitely doable. Now, here's the thing I'm going to make you do next, because evil Mrs. Thomas. Oh, look, we got it right. That means we're ready for some other patterns. Fun fact, this is the pattern that we just read. It's the same thing again and again. So we don't need to read this green pattern, but we can read this blue pattern. So let's go ahead and try these patterns. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flash these patterns up on the screen for you for just a little bit. And it's your job to hit pause and practice the pattern. When you unpause, I will read the pattern for you. Are you ready? Go ahead and hit pause and practice this pattern. Once you've unpaused, this is how the pattern goes. Tika-ti, tika-ti, ta, ta. If that's what you got, great job. If not, that's fine. Try reading it slower and see what happens. Let's move on to another pattern. A little bit trickier this time. Go ahead and hit pause to practice this pattern. Now that you can unpause, let's see if you read the pattern correctly. Ready? Here I go. 1 and 2, and here I go. T, T, tika-ti, T, T, ta. If you got it right, great. If not, that's fine. Practice it slowly. Ready? Let's move on to another pattern. Something a little more difficult. Ooh, evil Mrs. Thomas. Go ahead and hit pause and really take your time to read this pattern slowly. Are you ready? Hit pause. Now that you've unpaused, let's go ahead and try this one really slowly. Are you ready? I'm going to say it slow so that we can track it together. Here I go. Tika-ti, ti, tika, tika, tika-ti, tika. Try saying it with me. Let's see if you got it right. Ready? Here we go. Tika-ti, ti, tika, tika, tika-ti, tika. If you're not sure how I got the answer, watch what I do slowly. Here I go. Tika-ti, ti, tika, 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 ti, tika. Remember, if it has 2 beams at the top, you have to say tika. If it has 1, it's just T. So let's try it slowly. I want you to take your favorite pokey finger and try and poke this pattern as we go. Ready? Watch my cursor. Here we go. Tika-ti, ti, tika, 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 ti, tika. Let's try clapping that one together. Ready? Here we go. And tika-ti, ti, tika, 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 ti, tika. Phew. Okay. I think you're ready to do a hard one on your own without my help. Let's see what happens, shall we? Try this one. Are you ready? Think about it. Go really slowly on this one. Go ahead and pause the video here and unpause when you think you have the right answer. All right, hit pause. Okay, let's take a look at this thing. Slowly, say it with me. If you get it the same answer as me, that means you've got it right. Ready? Here we go. And T, tika, 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 T, T, T. If that's the answer you had, that means it was absolutely correct. If not, that's fine. This one's tricky. Go back and practice and rewind the video just a little bit. Now that we've gotten some of our rhythms practiced, I want you to go ahead and take a look at some of the other patterns that I have. We're just going to fast forward through here. I have 12 patterns that I want you to take a look at. It's a little bit small, so I can make it bigger for you. But all 12 of these patterns are going to be used in our mystery rhythm game. Are you ready? I want you to pause and try and read all 12 of these patterns. If you're not entirely sure about how to read some of them, that's okay. Go slow and try your best. Now, real quickly, this thing here is a half note. And in case you don't remember how to do a half note, remember, a half note gets 2 beats. It's one sound that stretches across 2 beats. So you go ta. So if you have no idea how to read the half note, now you do. The other thing to keep in mind is take a look at this rest here. A quarter rest is the same thing as a ta, except it's silent. So our quarter rest is going to be just empty sound. So whenever you see our quarter rest, you're just going to do this for 1 beat. So if we look at pattern number 6, for example, it's going to sound like this. Tika-ti, ta, ta. Okay, we're going to play a little game. Look at these 12 patterns and I want you to practice them. Go ahead and pause the video here and unpause when you think you can read most of them correctly. Ready? Pause the video. Now that we're unpaused, what I want you to do is listen very carefully. If you've never played Mystery Rhythm before, as you're in for a treat. This is one of my favorite games. I went ahead and I picked one of these 6 patterns up here. 12. I went ahead and I picked one of these 12 patterns up here on the doobly-doo in the corner. I'm going to play it on my trusty tambourine. I will try and make it not pop in your ears. Unfortunately, this microphone is not the most fantastic, but I'll do my best. I'll play it for you 3 times. The first time I'll play it, and I'll give a little bit of a pause. Second time, and then a little bit of a pause. And then the third time, and a little bit of a pause. And then we're going to check to see if you got the right answer. Remember, I'm going to play it for you 3 times. I'm going to go ahead and pick the first pattern. Are you ready? I'm going to play it on my tambourine, and I want you to listen to see which pattern I played. Ready? Here I go. Think about the pattern. It is one of these 12 patterns. Think about the way it starts and the way it ends, and whether you hear any T tickas or tika-tis, or maybe both. Ready? Same pattern, second time. Here I go. Think about it. That was the second listen. We have 1 more left. All right, last time. Listen to it and see if you have the right answer. Here we go. I hope you're feeling pretty confident. If you're not, that's fine. You can pause the video, rewind it, and listen to it a couple more times. Unlike in the classroom, you can actually listen to it as many times as you need to so that you can practice getting the right answer. Are you ready? I'm going to play and say the pattern for you. I want you to say the pattern with me at the same time. If what you say and what I do matches up perfectly, that means you got it right. If it's not, that means there's something wrong in there that we might need to look at and fix. Are you ready? I'm going to go ahead and say the pattern. Say it with me. Ready? Here we go. T, tika, tika, T, 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 ta. If you had pattern number 4, that means you had the right answer. If you didn't, that's fine. we're going to try another pattern. Let's do one more pattern for the day, shall we? Let's take a look at all the patterns except for number 4. We're going to cross out number 4. And unfortunately, I can't cross out on this particular piece of software. But every pattern except for number 4 is going to be up for grabs. Let's take a look. What should we do next? Ooh, is Mrs. Thomas going to be mean? Maybe, maybe. We'll see what kind of mood I'm in. All right, I decided on a pattern. Good luck. Ready? 1 and 2, and here I go. One of my favorite things to say is, I'm sorry. Not really. Remember, you get 3 listens, so if you're confused, listen again. Second time, same pattern. Are you ready? Here we go. Think about it. This one's tricky. Third and final time. Good luck. Here we go. And sorry, not sorry. I mean, it's up there. I promise you it's up there. Let's try it together, but let's go really slowly because this one's super complicated. Remember, if you need to pause and go back and practice again, that's fine. Ready? Here we go. And tika-ti, tika, tika, tika-ti, tika. Is that the pattern you had? Say it with me. Let's do it again. Ready? Here we go. And tika-ti, tika, tika, tika-ti, tika. If you had pattern number 9, it's the correct answer. It's tricky, isn't it? It's pretty tricky. Let's look at it together. Pattern number 9 is a little bit busy. Lots of little sounds. So let's clap and say it together. And I'm going to poke at each of these note heads. Ready? Clap and say it for me. Here we go. Oh, there's the cursor. Sorry. Here we go. And tika-ti, tika, tika, tika-ti, tika. So that should have been the answer that you had. If you didn't, that's okay. You can always go back and practice some more. I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of this pattern here. One day I will get this right. Higher, lower, there. I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of these patterns up on Blackboard for you. And you can always try practicing these on your own. All right. Next week, I'm hoping that we're going to be doing a little bit of exploration with how certain instruments work and how notes are made with steps and half steps and whatnot. And you might even get to see a little bit of my actual house outside of my office. So I will see you then. Bye-bye.